Well, finally, only took long enough. Jonathan Pariente, Beast of the East, here with you. A special first time ran on YouTube, Downtown Sports. All right, well, the Knicks finally took long enough, came out, game four, backs against the wall, and played a complete game of basketball. Why did it only take until the fourth game for this to finally happen? But one thing I was very happy with, and this is something that was missing from the Knicks since game one, the ball was moving. Brunson didn't have to play the hero. Karl Anthony Towns actually used his size to his advantage because we talked about it. Me and Mouth have talked about it throughout the entire series. Cat was going to be an X factor. And lo and behold, you give him the ball. Atlanta has no answer for him. Crash the boards, attack the paint, knock down some big open shots, move the ball around, got his first triple double in his career in a playoff. OG hit some big shots, over 20 points for him. Brunson had 19, and then Hart added in. Deuce McBride added some points. This is what the Knicks can do when they're playing their A game. When everyone's scoring, this team is very dangerous. So the Knicks win 114-98. You even had a little bit of, even Rick Brunson was giving it to Jalen. And you know what? It's about time. Brunson has needed to hear that from somebody. If it had to be his own dad, so be it. And his message was very simple. Move the ball. Spread the ball around. This is what Jalen Brunson has been getting killed at in this entire series, and the Hawks have been exploiting that on every possession. And that's what doomed the Knicks in games two and three. Brunson having to play the ISO ball, trying to do everything himself. At the end of the day, playoff basketball is not a one-man show. You can have some of those games once in a while, but you're playing in the playoffs. You're playing a team that's young, fast. They like to move the ball around. They can find different ways to attack, and they exploited your play style. You have to change it up. You have to adjust. You have to adapt. If it means, hey, I'll give the ball to my big man because he's clearly a better matchup here, you have to share that wealth. You have to sometimes, the great players have the ability to understand. If I have another two scorers that are clearly the better matchup here, utilize that. Leave your ego at the door and use the weapons you have around you. So I'm hoping that this was a precursor for the Knicks to go into game five, which will be Tuesday night at the Garden. And more than likely not, the Knicks will have to come back to Atlanta for game six and hope that they can finish this series off by the sixth game. But if you're the Knicks, you have to win game five. That's it. This is now a best of three series. So I hope that whatever woke up today, and it was good to see all the Knicks coming out playing with a good defensive energy, with a good mindset. They came out with playing good defense, and that's something that this team was struggling with in this round. They were not attacking the Hawks from the three ball. They were not getting into the passing lanes. They were not making that extra effort at times. And that left a lot of questions. And obviously in the previous games, Brunson was trying to do everything. Players were standing around. If the captain understands the term of moving the ball around, giving the players the open look, there's no limit to what the Knicks are capable of doing in the playoffs. It's just the consistency. So good win for the Knicks tonight. A good solid win, a statement. And now the Knicks have to deliver on the next piece of that statement. And that's win game five at MSG Tuesday night. You now have regained the home field advantage in the series, which was very important for the Knicks because this was your back against the wall game. So now it's a whole new series, in my opinion. And now it's up to the Knicks to win the next one and then the one after that. So we'll see what happens. The rest of the playoffs have been very exciting as well. It's good to see, Oklahoma City took care of their business going up 3-0 over the Suns. Timberwolves, give them a lot of credit. They challenged the Nuggets. Unfortunately, Dante DiVincenzo tore his Achilles, and that's going to be a very rough injury going forward for Minnesota. And then later on, Anthony Edwards injured his knee. But the Timberwolves persevered, 43 points for Ayo Dosunmu, which played a very big difference coming off the bench. So someone had to rise to the occasion, and he did. Now we'll see if Minnesota can finish things off game five. And let's just see. Let's see exactly what Minnesota is going to be all about. Series is going back to Denver. And I'm looking forward to see if the Nuggets have an answer because right now Jokic has had no answer for Rudy Gobert. If Minnesota can pull off this series win, it's a huge upset. Just as much as the Lakers are up 3-0 on the Rockets, seeing they've been down Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. So definitely, this has been a fun first round. Good to see a lot of these teams really showing themselves and why they earn their spot here in these playoffs. And now the latter half of the quarterfinals will begin. The next batch of games for Sunday, and they're all going to have very important implications on them. Detroit, Orlando as well. Very impressive win also today, taking out the Pistons. A really solid job by Banchero, seeing Suggs, Desmond Bane hitting big shots. And you clearly have seen the Pistons exposed now. It's very clear this offense lives and dies through Cade Cunningham. The Pistons don't have a secondary scorer. I thought Jalen Duren was going to do a lot more, and he has been almost non-existent. Basically, if you take away Cade Cunningham, if you're the Magic, you basically take away all of Detroit's offense. And as good as a defensive team as Detroit is, I think Orlando just is just outplaying them. They're just a little bit stronger. They're just a little bit more going with that extra effort for the ball. And I think the Magic also got a lot more dangerous with Franz Wagner back in the lineup. That's made a very big difference. And now the Magic go up 2-1 with the next game coming up in Orlando in a couple more days. And then, of course, we have tomorrow's games, Cleveland, Toronto. Cleveland is up 2-1. Give the Raptors credit for taking game three. San Antonio, Portland. That's going to get very interesting now if Wembanyama comes back. Obviously, if Wembanyama comes back, the Spurs are going to clearly have the advantage and give the Spurs a lot of, give the Spurs a lot of credit. Turning it around. They lost Wembanyama to that concussion in game two. They bounced back knowing he wouldn't play game three. And to see Dylan Harper step up to the plate and have one of the best performances of his young career in a playoff game. To see Castle, Vassell, and just seeing just everybody kind of understand their role, knowing Wemby's not there. And the Spurs came out and finished off a very impressive fourth quarter and were able to hold off the Blazers. And now it's going to become a very important game four. If the Spurs take game four, even with or without Wemby, then this series could be pretty much decided after with the Spurs if they win tomorrow. I like their chances. Boston, Philly, that can get very interesting. Give the Sixers a lot of credit, even without Embiid. They've been hanging tough with Boston, but this is a must-win game for Philly tomorrow, no doubt about it. If they want this series to, they want to have a shot in this series, and maybe if Embiid comes back, and that's a very, very big if. Maybe the Sixers have a shot, but otherwise, again, backs are against the wall for Philly. They lose this, I think the Celtics are gonna take this series in 5 games. And last but not least, the Lakers and Rockets. The Lakers looking to go for the sweep. They came back from 6 down with 25 seconds to go in game 3 in regulation. LeBron carried the team on his back, and the Lakers went on to win in overtime. Rockets have been down Kevin Durant for a couple games in this series, and it's shown. Without Kevin Durant, the Rockets just don't have like a clear direction. They just look like a deer in the headlights team every time they take the court. They just are making fundamental mistakes. And I don't feel like at times they understand the type of moment they're in. Ime Udoka's called it out. Now it's going to be up to the Rockets to avoid getting basically humiliated in 4 games by the Lakers, who you felt without Reeves and Doncic, the Rockets had the clear advantage. We're going to find out in game 4 who the Rockets are and if they're serious about staving off elimination tomorrow. We'll find out tomorrow. But for now, that's going to do it for this little rant edition, Downtown Sports. I will be back with Mouth a couple days from now, and we'll dive into more of these NBA playoffs and obviously game 5 between the Knicks and Hawks at the Garden. And we will also dive in more into the NFL draft, which wrapped up today. We'll talk about the Jets and Giants moves. We will talk all about the other surprises that other teams made in the draft, and definitely, I definitely like what the Jets and Giants have done. And we're going to see everything if these moves will pan out come the regular season. We'll find out very soon, but it's early on. But the draft was a good draft for both teams, Jets and the Giants. And I like what all the other teams around them have done as well to further improve. So we'll have all that and more on a full episode of Downtown Sports. But for now, Jonathan Perriente, Beast of the East, saying goodbye.